Yo. We're going to do them in class as soon as we're done teaching. All right, so yeah, as soon as I'm done teaching, you will have a chance to do test corrections in class. Because there was just no way to get as many of you in here as I thought we're going to need to do it. So I usually don't do that, but we're going to do it today. Is it 5 what today? 5-3, correct? This is 4th. Well, first off, are there any questions on 10-4?
It's pretty easy. I think it was pretty light on 10-4.
Yeah, shh. Everybody listen up.
Can we come and do it again or no? Like, is this the only day we can do it?
Unless you don't get done.
Okay.
But yeah, I prefer to get it done today. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep rolling then. We're going to cover section 10.5 today. So this is SM2H unit 10.5. And our objective is to continue to be able to properly solve circles. Now, I'm going to be honest. 10.5 is pretty straightforward. I would combine it with 10.6, but 10.6 is kind of involved, which is why today's probably the best day to do corrections. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, again, if I were to tell you that I had a circle with center at 7 and -3, and I had an r of the square root of 17, could you write the equation for that? Yeah, what would it be?
Parentheses x y plus 3 squared equals 17.
All right, so those of you doing all the talking, I think can do that, okay? Now, let's say I did this. Got to go back a little bit here, and let's say I did this. Okay. Now, we'll call this circle, I don't know, circle U, okay? Let's go. Now, let's say that I tell you that this angle right here is 85 degrees, and I want you to find, and I said find the measure of arc ST. Anybody think they can figure that out? Sawyer?
Well, since that's like a 180 line, did you just pick one?
Now, is that a 180 line though?
No.
No, because this is the center. Does it pass through the center? No.
Wait, where's R? Oh, you said measure, and what the heck did you get?
Yeah, I want the measure of arc ST right
You
here.
said arc, and I heard R.
Oh, gotcha. Arc ST, yes. Nobody? Well, where's my vertex?
Right there.
But it's on the circle, right?
Yeah.
So what do we usually do with the arc measure when it was on the circle? Times by 2, right? So if the angle is 85, what do you think this arc right here is? 170, right? Now, I screwed that up because this is not, I wanted this part. So what do I probably need to have there? Anybody remember? Another letter. Why? Because it's a major arc, right? So let's go STUV. Let's go W. So let's find the measure of arc SWT. That's what I wanted. I wanted that half, but that could have been a terrible question. How would I find SWT then? 369. Yeah, I'm just going to go 360 minus off 170. I'm going to get 210 degrees, right? Check that. I did 370 minus 160, didn't I? Yeah. That would not be. That would be the wrong answer. I appreciate you pointing that out, Christian.
What you said would be wrong.
370 minus 1?
You said 360 strike 160.
I meant 370. Sorry. Okay. But really, is that really any different than what we did before? No. It's really not. Okay. Now, the biggest change comes when we get into the second page of this. Okay. And that is when they do this. So they're going to take two chords and they're going to intersect them. Okay. And they're going to intersect these two chords like this, right? And they're going to say that this is X, this is 4, this is 10, this is 8, and they're going to say, find what X equals. Okay? Any ideas? Yo. X is 5? That's, can I what?
It'd be like X over 8, 4 over 10.
X over 8 equals 4 over 10. No. But that is a good idea. What? It is like a proportion, but it's not quite the same thing. It does equal 5.
How'd you do this?
Alright, Becca figured it out already?
Yeah.
She must have the key.
How do you do it?
I think she has a computer brain.
So maybe she's like an iRobot or something.
Yeah.
Stoker, you just had an idea, man. I saw it.
Would be 4 over 8 equals X over
Okay, you can do it that way, but there's an easier way because not everybody sees that.
Wait, I looked at that earlier, but... Oh, wow.
You're right. You're right. But I don't teach it that way.
Wait, shouldn't it be...
Keep thinking along your lines. Yo.
Multiply 4 by 10.
That times that equals that times that.
How do you know that?
Now, here's the thing. And this kind of goes back to what Stoker said. The problem I have with teaching it that way is that sometimes it makes it challenging to figure out which ones to go with which ones. This way, it's always the ones on the same line, then I think it's easier to see. Does that make sense, David? But you're right, you're doing the same idea. Because when I do this, I'm going to get 40 equals 8x, right? Then I'm just going to do what? Yeah, divide by 8, and I get x equals 5. So if I keep on the same line, so it's basically the short side times the long side is equal to the short side times the long side, right? Then it becomes basically a two-step problem. Multiply, divide, there's your answer. Charlie.
So does this work because it has to do with angles, because both equal 180? Not
It's along those lines, yes, but it's more of a segment thing, but you are on the right track, yes.
You said like short side times long side, but 8 is...
On the same line.
I know, but I'm saying 4 times 10, and then it would be 8 times...
I think you just pointed it the wrong line. That is
Short side times long side equals short side times long side. But because you got to stay. These two sides of this line, when I multiply them together, are equal to those two sides of that line when I multiply them together.
So it's like, it's proportional?
It's like proportional, yes.
Is that why it's equal?
Yeah, that's why it's equal, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. In the big picture, because when I set this up, it's basically a proportion. I like to do it with multiplication because I think it's easier. Yes.
How do you know, like, just how do you know it's, like, equal? Like,
It's actually a postulate. Anybody, there's two things in math you would have learned, Flinders, and that's actually a good question. There are postulates and there are theorems. Okay? Now, this is actually a postulate of circles that says if you have two chords that intersect each other, okay, the product of one chord is equal to the product of the other chord.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Right?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like, just how would you tell? Like,
Oh, I don't know. Somebody smarter than me came up with that.
I'm just saying, like on an assignment, like if it didn't say find the, how could you tell what to do?
You wouldn't, which is why I'm teaching you how to do it. Yeah, people, I mean, this goes back to, so like we used to teach formal geometry, which is like this. I would teach you how to prove that. We would spend a half an hour, and when I was done, every one of you, but maybe two of you, would be looking at me like I had just got done speaking my entire discussion in German. Yeah, because I'm going to be honest, I don't care that you know where that came from. I don't. All I care is, can you use it? Does that make sense? And it comes because somebody way smarter than me back in the day realized that.
Like David?
Well, I don't know. I guess it could have been David. I mean, I'm guessing he wasn't. I'm guessing his great-great-grandpa wasn't even thought of when the guy came up with this. But maybe, I don't know. You know. So, now, this is what you got to watch out for. Okay. Find X. Let's go with 10 hands. See how smart we are.
Is it like easy? Like,
I got 1, 2, 3, 4,
I did not.
5,
I think I did all right, but I know I could not.
6,
I just didn't read it. I
7, 8, 9. One more. 10 already. Who was 5? What do you got, Ethan?
I have the square root of 35.
Square root of 35. Anybody else get the square root of 35? How'd you do it?
I times 7 times 10 because they're on the same line.
7 times 10 equals
2x squared.
2x. Now, it would have been 2x times x, right? And he just did it, and he's going to get 70 equals 2x squared. Then you're going to do what? Divide by 2, divide by 2, and you get x squared equals 35, right? Then I'm going to square root, and I got x equals the square root of. Now, could you turn that into a decimal? Yeah, I probably would leave it like this. What does this give us? Anybody remember what kind of answer that gives us? Yeah, this is one of those exact ones. Could you have turned that into a decimal? Yeah, I probably would leave it like that. You don't need to practice punching buttons on your calculator, do you? No? Okay. Alrighty, now, let's say I did this.
Still waiting for one to be a diameter.
Probably not going to happen.
Sounds good. Still a chord.
$15 hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 2 more, 14, 1 more, 15. All righty, who was 8? What do you got for me, Elliot?
11.3.
X is what?
11.3.
11.3. Anybody else get 11.3?
Yes.
Okay. So how'd you do it?
I did 12 times x.
12 times x equals
17 times 8.
17 times 8, which gives me 12x equals, what is it?
170.
136. Divide by 12, divide by 12. I get x equals 11.3. Yeah? Okay. No, it doesn't matter. You could. I wouldn't. I would just, that's fine. Yeah. I'm curious. Now, a couple of things you need to realize is that we, let me see.
What was the average score? I'm just
Why don't we just
Probably in the 30s.
let's bid on the curve?
Yeah,
No, that
so
was
bad.
pretty
Whoever got the lowest score, that should
Me
be.
too, I have a T right now.
I just need
Yeah. Show me level.
What did you get? What did you get?
What was it, Adam?
The high score, though, was really good.
It's Becca, isn't it?
It was you, wasn't it?
me?
Yeah.
Really?
Snyder.
What'd you
way to
get?
be.
Do you remember?
I only missed 6, so I already did the test first.
You did 40. You got 47, right?
Yeah.
Charlie,
Anybody beat a 47?
I got a 26.
I got 50. Yeah, I don't think
Oh yeah, Ethan got a 50.
What was it, Adam?
Yeah, 53.
Yeah, Ethan.
Okay, so hey, before I turn you loose to come up and get your thing, you need to understand something, that we are going to work until the
21st.
probably the 25th. Yeah, that's probably going to be our test.
I thought grades were due the 21st. From the quarter
Well,
ends.
for CE
The
class,
seniors.
What grade were you?
Yes.
Graduating this
Our school doesn't get out till the 28th.
That's like forever.
But we don't have school that Wednesday because that's graduation. So we will probably take a test on the 25th.
Will it be like all of them, like multiple choice?
Probably. Yeah, it'll probably be that last no retake, no corrections.
Those are my favorites.
Well, because we have one day, and that's the 27th, wrap anything up, but I'm not worried about it. This is math, right?
What did you say?
He said, let's have a fun day. And I said, this is math, right? Although, come on, Christian, you can't tell me for math classes this hasn't been a pretty good math class. I mean,
We just have kind of
What? That's the only reason? It's been good? I see how it is, Ethan. No, I see how it is. No, I remember that. Okay, hey, get a new correction. Come and get your test, okay? I catch you talking, looking at your phone, I'll give you a 0. Yes. Yeah, use the thing. Okay, you're busy. Now, if you're not busy, now you have an assignment to do, okay?